So here it is. This is our home for the next year, Crusader Excalibur Serenity. As you can see here, it's an awesome van and we absolutely love it so far. So it's a 21.6 van, let's call it 22 feet. So it's a pretty big van, and externally it's about 9.5 meters because of the toolbox and the A-frame there is quite long. So we generally need to warn caravan parks that we've got a big rig before coming in, because they often underestimate the size of our rig and put us in a tiny spot. So the average tear for these vans is about 2,650 kilos. So we were kind of expecting about 2,700 kilos tear, but it did end up being a little bit heavier than that. So we added an extra solar panel, we added an extra battery, we had an extra cushion. The cushion weighs a hell of a lot, and also had provision for inverters installed. And we ended up being 2,776 kilos, so a little bit higher. The ATM in this van is 3.3, so it gives us about 500 kilos of payload, which should be enough, and we're managing to stay within that at the moment, no problem. But it would have been nice to have a little bit more, but that's what we've got. So you might be able to see these reflectors. So these are placed all over the van. So what these are, when we did our towing course, these are just indicators for when I'm maneuvering the van. So for example, if I go backwards and I start to see this reflector, that means I can't really go too much further than this before I jackknife the caravan. So yeah, really good visual indicator to not go any further in that direction when I see this. So that was really handy. So this is our tunnel boot. It's almost a meter long, plenty of space for everything we need. Have a look inside. So it's got silver checker plate cladding, which is really good and really scratch resistant in there. It's got a light, which we've just turned on there. This is where we house all of things like Archie's bed, our outdoor chairs, our table. You can see a jack in there and our clothesline, and a few hoses and things and bits and bobs. We also store all our chocks and our jockey wheel and everything else we need in here. So plenty of space in there. And you can probably see the inverter at the back there, which we got installed. So that allows us, when we're free camping, to power our 240 devices with no trouble at all. Let me just close this up. So this is our awning on the caravan, a 17-foot awning. There were some delays in getting awnings due to COVID and some manufacturing delays. So usually this caravan has a Dometic awning, but we got a Carefree awning installed. We were very lucky because we were one of the only people who ordered caravans which did get theirs on time. But it's been great. No problems at all. It's been really easy to use and really stable. We bought some tensioners up here just to help with the flapping and some guide ropes and stuff. But other than that, it's been superb awning so far. This is where you can put the TV if you want to watch TV outside. It's got 12 volt, an aerial, and two 40 volt plugs in there. So we actually haven't brought the TV outside and watched it yet, but hopefully we will one day. It's also got a little leveler there, but they're pretty inaccurate, so we don't tend to use that. But what we've really been using these for is, like, we've got the table set up here. If we're doing some editing outside, we can easily just plug in our laptops outside, which is brilliant, really easy to use. So I've got a couple of speakers up here. There's one there and one over there, and the outdoor lights up there, which you can see 3 of. Just there, which you can see, this is just a picnic table. I won't open it up. It's pretty boring. It's nothing there, but very useful to have. We've got a little light here. So this goes blue. I don't know if you can see it. It's very faint, but in the dark you can see it quite well. Otherwise, you press it again for a light here. So we'll go into the door later. Hannah's going to show you around inside. So let's follow me. Oh, I thought I'd show you. You might be able to see here. There's another reflector. So this reflector's on the awning, and when it's retracted into place, if I see that, then that gives me a visual indicator that the back is swinging out this way. So if I want to reverse, and I see this reflector, all I need to do is turn the steering wheel towards this reflector, and it will straighten up as I reverse. So that's very handy to have. And there's one more over here, this little one in the middle of nowhere. So this helps Hannah get into position when we need to reverse it, either left or right. So she'll position herself here, and then from here we kind of pivot and reverse into the spot. So that is where Hannah needs to be to get into the right spot. So on the back here we've bought a wheelie bin, so this has really been useful just to house any rubbish or Archie's dog poo, or usually what we put in here is our silage hose when we're on the move. Just somewhere that it's not in the tunnel boot, you know, the smells and everything can stay out here. That's been really good. We've got the reversing camera up there, if you can see that. So as I mentioned before, that reversing camera means I can see Hannah and hear Hannah as we're maneuvering backwards. Really useful to use, and it's been invaluable for when we've been trying to get into tricky spots. And obviously we've got our decal here, Staycation Oz. Got that put on the day we left, which was really exciting. We put a do not overtake turning vehicle sticker on. When I bought the sticker, it looked a lot bigger in my hands. When I stuck it on there, it's tiny. So, but what that means is we're legally allowed to turn from the right-hand lane if we're turning left. So it just gives us a little bit more space when we're turning left. Here's the hot water system here. So this is the other side of the reflector, which I spoke to you before. You can see there. Our toilet cassette here, so nothing too interesting there. And you can see down here, this is the other visual indicator for Hannah when we're reversing. So our silage pipe is down there. And if you come under here, you can kind of see this is where we fill up our tanks. So I've labeled them 1 and 2. And so all I need to do if I want to fill up a tank is turn that on, and that will fill up the tanks. So pretty easy there. I know they're full if water starts coming out of one of these hoses here, this outlet hose. So we plug our water in here, which you can see. So this is mains. When we're at a caravan park, we just click it on and we're done. And just up here is the external shower. Let me just open it for you. So I'm gonna have a quick look. So this is really good, hot and cold shower. Really, really useful when you come back from the beach, or we've washed Archie before with this, so it's this was a must-have for us when we were buying the caravan, just to have that use. So you can fill your water tanks up a couple of ways. We've got individual inlets for the tanks, so there's one there for that tank, and there's one over there you might be able to see for that one. But what the Excalibur range have, rather than have to fill these up manually, which you can do and we do occasionally, but all we need to do is plug our mains into here, and there's a little, like the switches I just mentioned down there, fill up the tanks. So it's as easy as that, really easy, really simple to fill up our tanks and to empty them as well. So one of the other benefits of the Excalibur series caravan is it comes with independent suspension. So if you pop under here, and you should be able to see the independent suspension in there, and through here as well. So we got it coloured orange as well to match the car. I know, a bit cheesy, but yeah, it didn't cost any extra, and we thought it would look really cool having it match the whole colour scheme that we were going for. Same with the stripe here, we got to choose the colour, so we tried to get a burnt orange colour to match the car. Unfortunately everyone thinks it's red, but it's burnt orange. So these are our batteries. We've got 2 AGM batteries, 150 amps they are, amp hours batteries. So yeah, we've never had any issue with power at all. We always run out of water quick first. The power, we've always got plenty of power. Most of the time we're at 100%, and the solar works all the time as well. So I think the lowest we've got down to is maybe 75%. So we've got an antenna inlet here. So if there's a caravan park that ever has an antenna cord, we can plug in there rather than use our wine guard. Very, very handy. This is where the power plugs in, just there. And we've got a just a cut-off switch here if we ever need to. And this is the other side of the tunnel boot in here. So let me show you. So we just got some fuses in here. And a few spare taps and bits that we need. I keep losing these. I keep leaving them on the tap. Just stupid me, but fire pit there. We've got this matting just in case we need it, need a bit more comfort outside, and just a few hoses and bits. So the tunnel boot runs all the way through, so it's a massive tunnel boot, and you can see I've left the light on over there, so glad I opened this side to have a look. But it's a huge tunnel boot. You can fit so much stuff in here. Let me close this up. All right, so on this side, this is the other side of the toolbox. There's Archie sticking his head out, looking at us again. Hi, Archie. Good boy. Stay there. So the diesel here, 20 litres of diesel. And in this side, we just keep bits of security, bits of tools, hoses, just bits and pieces in here. Nothing major in there at the moment. We might get a generator, so what this is mainly for is to put your generator in here, and you can actually just plug in your generator here and just use it off-grid wherever you are. But we haven't really needed a Jenny yet, and maybe when we do some more free camping we might, but look, at this stage I think we'll just leave it until we absolutely need it. There we go. As I said, diesel here, and then we're back around the front. The only other thing to point out is we really wanted the front window there where Archie's sticking out. So a lot of people worry that they leak and things like that. We've never had any problems so far. And it's just brilliant because our bed's just there. So it's just brilliant to open it up in the morning, you know, at a new place. Sometimes we can face the beach, and it's just lovely to have and just let air through the caravan as well. So time to show you inside of the caravan. There's Hannah. Hello.
Hi.
Let me open it. So we've got a little clasp here. I can pull it around here and just keep it open whenever we need to, which is really handy. We've also got a flywire door, so if I pull the handle up like this, I can close this door, comes away from the main door, and it's really handy to let breeze into the caravan just to keep the midges and flies out when we're inside. So that just clips back through like that very easily. It has a retractable step here. So the button is here, so we just kind of press it in and out like that whenever we're getting in and out of the caravan. And we mentioned this light here earlier. If we put it on the blue setting, that actually activates this light down here. So at night, this will all illuminate, just making it easier to get in and out of the caravan. All right, I'm going to pass you on to Hannah to give you a bit of a tour on the inside.
Hey there, come on in. So, Chris has shown you the outside, and this is the inside of our home for the year. We're pretty happy with it overall. I think it's fairly comfortable and really practical at the same time. In terms of a general feel, we're really happy with the colour scheme that we've gone with. So we went with white cupboards at the top just to make it feel open, and then we went with grey cupboards on the bottom, mainly because we have Archie and his hairs get everywhere. So again, we were just sort of thinking of practicalities there. Maybe we start at this far end. So this comes with a queen size bed. It's slightly shorter, but it's still 6'2", so still plenty of room for us. And we then have all of our cupboards, so hanging space at the side. We've got a drawer down there, and then sort of in between here we've got a bit of a nook which has both 240 and 12 volt power. While we're here, down this side we also have the on-off switch for the inverter, so if we're free camping and need that 240 volt power, we have that. We then have two overhead cupboards, so again they're really deep cupboards. It's amazing how many clothes you can shove into those. It's really handy. And I'll just come over to Chris's side. So we've sort of done the same again at Chris's side, except he wasn't really interested in hanging space. So we actually got one of those drop down shelving from IKEA, and it's actually doing that rather than fixed shelves. I still let him have just a couple of shirts hanging at the side, which is really convenient. And then yeah, another drawer there. I'll explain how this works, but this is basically the cushion for the club lounge over there. While we're in the bedroom area, we have 2 Sirocco fans either side. So these are really good because these operate on 12 volts. So you can use them whether you're powered or free camping. And they have different settings and you can move them around. And so you can use them either if you're in bed or even if you're sitting sort of further down the caravan, which is really handy. We then, as Chris touched on when we're outside, we're really keen on getting that window above the bed just so that it feels really airy. Apologies, the window's a little bit muddy at the moment, but we've had a bit of dirty rain recently. Also, we've got the skylight up here, which has got a couple of different settings. It either opens fully or it will also sort of lock in but slightly open, and then all of the lighting. And what's great as well, so if we're wanting to wake up with the birds, we can leave it open. Alternatively, it's also a block out blind, so if we are wanting a bit of a lie in, we'll close the block out blinds. If we're wanting it open and there's lots of midges, we also have the fly screen there. And then all of the windows are the same, so all of these windows, if you pull them up, you've got block out, and if you pull them down, you've got fly screen, which is really convenient. Okay, so we also have some space under the bed, so I'm just going to lift it up. Ooh. It's gas lift, so it's not too bad, and then it stays open, no hands. So the tunnel boot sits up behind here, but that still leaves a bit of underbed space. So at this side there's actually a drawer, so this will slide out, so we don't need the bed up to get to anything in that drawer. We've got an ironing board, vacuum cleaner, a few bits, a little fan heater if we need it. We haven't used that yet. Fire extinguisher here on the bottom of the bed. I generally keep my handbag just under the bed so it's out of the way. While we've got this up, you may notice that there's carpet around the bed. So that didn't come with the Caravan, but it's really nice to get out of bed in the morning and step on carpet. So we were putting new carpets in our house back in Melbourne, and we saved a bit, and then when we got the Caravan, Chris just cut out a piece of carpet that fit more or less exactly around the bed. There's a couple of, it's not perfect, but yeah, and that's really good in terms of it's so comfortable getting out in the morning and having a bit of carpet underfoot. Just feels a little bit more plush. Also, while we're here, we have a wine guard aerial. So you just have to line it up and then wind it up. So really easy to use. And that links nicely to the TV here. So the wine guard aerial socket is just here. So we just plug the aerial in, and the TV is also 12 volt. So we just plug in the TV plug as well. Somehow there's a dog hair up here as well. They get everywhere. We do have a couple of little bits of black tape around, and that's because a few of these things have red flashing lights, and you don't realise until it's pitch black and you're in the middle of nowhere and everything is quiet and dark, and then you just see they're flashing on the TV. So we've actually stuck a bit of gaffer tape over a couple of things, but it's a smart TV as well, so we've actually been able to watch YouTube, Netflix and various things on the TV, which is really handy. Okay, so moving into the kitchen. Really well equipped kitchen. So we've got a gas hob here. Well, it's 3 gas hobs and 1 electric. We generally use the gas, just even though it uses our gas as opposed to even if we're powered, it's just nicer at gas hobs. So it even has a wok burner that you can turn over and use as the wok burner. And it also has a bit of a safety as well. So this button here, just in case you were to leave something on and go out, which happens to the best of us, if you close the lid on this, that is actually a dead switch, so that switches off. It also has a fan above. Again, we've got a bit of gaffer tape on that because the lights annoys us at night time. We've then got a gas oven below this sort of a grill section here, which is really handy. And we actually started off making toast on the grill, but then we decided toast isn't the same unless it's a toaster, so we had to pop to Kmart and buy a toaster. But then here we have an oven which is actually a really good size. You can pop a couple of shelves in there and get a fair bit of stuff in. Carrying on through here, so yeah, it comes with 4 drawers. All of these drawers, because this is a semi-off-road caravan, they all sort of lock in really nicely. So that means even if you're going on bumps, they'll stay locked. So we just have sort of our cutlery, bigger cutlery items, crockery. And then this bottom one is just, so by the time we get here, we're going over the wheel arches. So this is sort of just a bit of space where we put a few bits in. The same here, although this has got some of the pipes in as well. Then under the sink as well, while we're doing that, we just keep a little bin under the sink and then a few other bits, Archie's treats and cloths and things, and also the coffee machine when we're travelling. So in terms of the sink, we've got the regular tap, but then there's also a filter water tap, which is great. We have been to different places and the water tastes vastly different. If you compare, say, Melbourne to the limestone coast, so it's good just to have that filter tap there. In terms of, yeah, the overhead cupboards, this has all of the technical gear, which I might get Chris to explain at some point. We have the gas hot water, so if we aren't connected to powered, we'll use the gas hot water. This here controls, you'll see we have some little swanky LED lights which are really cool. We love those. This little box here controls the light switches, although we've velcroed them onto various places. It actually comes with a remote control which Chris labelled with the different areas, but if for whatever reason the remote control wasn't working, you can also use the switch there. We've gone with the Velcro strips in a few places because we don't want to lose things. So in terms of above here we have an Ibis 4 domestic aircon, and so again we keep the remote control for that just stuck to the wall with Velcro, which is quite handy. So moving along here, we have the radio, which Chris pointed out the outside speakers. There's also a couple of speakers either end inside in the caravan as well. And you can control these. So again, Chris has just labelled the different switches as to the different speakers. We actually also have a fetch box up here for if we want a bit of different TV, although we haven't really used it much, we've been too busy. And then above here, that's what normally happens after we've been driving somewhere. Here we've just got the plastics, so always a tip, don't put anything heavy that might hurt you in the top cupboards because invariably they fall on your head when you open them. And then just things like, yeah, a couple of bowls. We keep our bread in here nice and high. You know, then just your silver foil, cling film, all of that sort of stuff. And then in here, we keep all of our glasses, mugs, cups. So we, again, because they will fall on your head, we've gone with plastic. So yeah, that's all that. We also have a microwave. This only will work when we connect it to power. And then a couple of just like a deep drawer here, which is really handy for all pans and big stuff, and the kettle, because we actually use a stove kettle as opposed to an electric kettle, so then we can use it anytime. And then again down here, just some extra space where we pop pop a few bits. Just quickly looking at these, so we have an isolator switch for the stove. You'll see we've got both black plug sockets and white plug sockets. So the white are from we connected to at a caravan park to 240. The black are actually the inverter power sockets. So if we're free camping, we turn the inverter on, and then that still allows us to use regular appliances because the inverter is converting that 12-volt battery power up into 240-volt power for appliances. Okay, over to the lounge side. We went with a club lounge because of Archie, really. So he's quite a big dog. He's sort of a 30-kilo dog, and it's quite narrow, and we're thinking, oh, where can he sleep? So we thought, well, at least if we have a club lounge, and we can convert that into a bed. So let me find things. So the table here like moves around. So what you can actually do is move it into sort of this position, and then there's a little pedal here, and you can drop it down with a bit of muscle, and then if you drop it right down to the bottom, this cushion that I just briefly showed you before, that'll go on the top, and then this actually turns into a single bed. So that can either be for Archie overnight, or sometimes if you can move the TV around here, and then you can just sort of sit on there as more of a sofa, and that's really comfortable too. So we're really happy with picking a club lounge layout. It's sort of been really flexible. We started out using the table this way, but we have actually found that we've quite enjoyed having it this way a bit, and so each of us have sort of had a bit of a corner to chill out in as well. Going down as well, when we're sort of sitting either side, these lift up here. So you also have a footrest when you're relaxing and watching a movie or whatever, or just resting after 15 kilometres walking during the day. And then you just find the little latches here, there we go, and pop it down. And then under here there's loads of space as well, so there's a couple of drawers at the side and then at the back, so the cushions come out, and we've actually got quite a lot of bits and pieces that are underneath the sofa as well, which again is round the wheel arch, because that's good to have a bit of weight around the wheels as well. And then also at the moment we've just got Archie's dog bed, which is under here, so often at night we'll actually bring that out here if we found that he hasn't actually been sleeping on the sofa too much, so we will actually just make a bit of space, pop his dog bed down there, and he's happy. While we're in the lounge, we also have a couple of reading lights, which are really handy. We also have those either side of the bed. Again, we've got the blackout and the fly screen on this window, and then it's nice sometimes to have your own space. So Chris has an allocated cupboard, Hannah has an allocated cupboard, so I'll just lift one of these up. So we've just got sort of a basket in, and then this can be the space that you can put anything you want in, and your other half doesn't get to judge, which is good. This cupboard, we just put like the wires, cables, chargers, things like that. And then this end one is anything else, anything travelly. We've got insect repellent. Sometimes if we have maps or anything, we'll pop those in there. Down here we've got the regular PowerPoint and the inverter one. We wanted one here, so if we're sitting using our laptops, we can use them from there. We've just popped up a couple of hooks as well here for keys, which is also very useful. Okay, coming further this way a bit. Right, between the kitchen area and the fridge, we have a load of drawers. So this is where we keep most of our food and drink. So that's our tea and coffee, herbs, spices, things like that, dry goods, curtains all the way down, and the bottom's just a cupboard that opens. Again, we try and put the heaviest stuff at the bottom, so we've got some UHT milk, olive oil, that kind of thing. And then this top one, which is really handy, is a pantry. We've then got really good amount of space in the fridge, so it's a big fridge. A fair bit of space is taken up with beer, but it's a really good size. We haven't found that we've needed any more. And then again with the freezer, a couple of shelves, more than enough for us too. And then just here in the entrance, we've got, so you'll see it's quite deep here is the cushion. So we actually have another cupboard down here. So because this is by the entrance, we generally just keep our shoes, Archie's food, because we usually feed him outside, goes in this cupboard as well. And then we also have more cupboards at the back. So in this one's a lot narrower, but we got some little baskets. I think these are from the reject shop. And so we've got various wire baskets that we've just been able to put things in. So poo bags, leads, if torches, just random things that are handy. Oh, shopping bags, which is always useful as well. There's more cupboard space down here. That's just got booze in though. That's become a bit of a booze cupboard. More so since we went to the wineries. And then this little opening one under the fridge is really Archie's cupboard, so toys, balls, anything, dentist sticks, anything that is dog related goes in there. We have another skylight up here as well, a bit similar to the one in the bedroom, so block out and fly screen. In here, firstly we have a switch. Now this is the hot water for if you connect it to power, so this is the electric hot water. So the actual hot water system is down here. We keep just some laundry stuff down here as well, so these are the chemicals for the toilet. We've got laundry liquid. We try and use grey water safe, both laundry liquid, washing up liquid and multi-purpose spray, because we know that with the sillage pipe sometimes, you know, the sillage pipe may not be going down a drain, so we're just a bit careful about what chemicals we use. And loo rolls go down there. So again, we have a domestic toilet, so that's, you saw the cassette the other side. It's really easy to use it. You literally, there's a little silver handle there. You pull the handle open, it kind of opens the hole at the bottom. It's almost like using a drop toilet. Use the toilet. The button here in the middle is a flush button, so you just press that for a couple of seconds, which will send some water down, and then you just close that silver handle again and job done. So that's nice and easy. In here as well, this was something we were quite keen on getting, so we got a small washing machine. We're having a couple of drainage issues with that, but again, we've got the Caravan in for a service tomorrow, so hopefully they can figure out what the problem is with that, because we'd very much like to use it. And then up here we keep bedding and towels. There's so much space. We have more than cupboard space than we could even use. So wash basin, vanity unit. We've got, again, Chris space, Hannah space, some quite big cupboards. And then what's great with the Serenity is there's also space here behind the mirrors. So again, we've got a 240 and an inverter plug set. And we have, again, Chris and Hannah sides. We then have more drawers, so again, well actually it's more of a Hannah drawer, a medicinal drawer and an Archie drawer, so Archie shampoos and flea and worming treatments and everything. And then this cupboard here, we just have a little bin. We chuck our dirty clothes at the bottom. It's got my hairdryer and things like that in. We also have the hugest shower ever. I think this is possibly bigger than our shower cubicle at home, so I'm just going to go in it. if I'm leaning against this wall, I can't even reach the shower or the wall at the other side. It's massive. It's literally, yeah, it's literally a house-sized shower. Really good shower head. You know, water pressure varies depending where you are. We've just attached a little shower holder, but apart from that, it's great. And also it just locks for travelling so that stays secure. And then both in the shower and here in the bathroom, we have vents, so they can either blow air that way or suck air that way, depending on what you need. And then it just twists open and has the lights. And then even the lights here, so some lights are centrally controlled and then some of them are just touch, which is really convenient. And then, which kind of takes us back to the entrance again. So we have our projector system here and also another set of light switches. So the projector system, I'm still figuring out exactly what everything means, but basically what we've got is we've got the date, time. These top two are your fresh water tanks. So at the moment it's saying we've got 50% in tank 1 and 100% in tank 2. Tank 4 is our grey water tank. So at the moment it says it's 100%, but we know that's not true. You have to regularly just clean the filter because obviously it's gunky water going through. We haven't yet. We've been given a really good tip from another camper who just said to use some dishwasher cleaner, dishwasher powder, pop a bit of that in, and then when you're driving with a bit of water and that, it'll slush around and hopefully clean out your silage tank as you're going round. Then just below that, it tells you what your power source is at the moment. So here you can see at the moment we're connected to the grid. So if we're not, it may be pulling from, be pulling from the battery, but this also connects to the solar panels and tells you what's coming in and out. And then here, load is just, if you've got the, we turn load on and off, so that's just the power turned on and off. There's also a button here, which is pump. So then when I press that, a little green pump icon lights up. So that's if we're not connected to pressured water, the pump will just pull it through for us. And I think that's it. So as you can see out here, we've just got a nice, you know, there's some good privacy options. So we can pull this down so it's really nice and private, even if we're wanting a bit of air in. We've got this is cushioned, so if any tall people are walking out, they won't hit the head. And I think that's pretty much it. Overall, we've been really happy. We're really comfortable with it. It's definitely a big caravan, but as a caravan to live in for 12 months, I think it's fairly comfortable and we don't feel like we're always on top of each other. Archie is still a tricky one because he just wants to walk amongst, like, between our feet all the time. We obviously have our fridge magnet collection here as we've been going on. You'll have probably seen, if you've been watching any of our other videos, you'll have seen that we are collecting fridge magnets as we go along, which is exciting. And then we also use them to just hold up the map and codes for any campground where we're staying, which is handy too. That is our house for the next year. Please do let us know if you've got any questions on how else we're using things, or tips if you think you've spotted things that could be done better. Happy to, keen to learn and improve what we're doing. But thank you for joining us on our tour.